All right, welcome. So, why setting goals is the key to progress. I, for about 4 months, didn't make any progress in my self improvement journey, in my work, in anything. And just recently, about a month ago, about a month ago, was when I finally figured it all out, right? I removed all the bullshit in my mind, all of the expectations, all of these random goals that I had, everything. I removed it all from my mind, and I sat down and I decided, what is the goal that I have? What is the thing that I'd like to achieve? And I basically clearly defined that goal. I defined it as 10K a month. I would like to be making 10K a month from an education business. I would like to be coaching people, and I would like to be hosting a school community, and collectively I would like to make 10K a month, right? That is my goal. That is the clear objective that I've set for myself. And so since that point, I've been able to make significant progress in my goal and in my self-improvement journey, and in everything. Every aspect of my life has completely aligned because I now clearly defined the goal that I have, right? And so now that I've clearly defined my goal, now I'm able to actually move in that direction, right? In a full way, in a full and direct way, I'm able to move towards that new goal. Well, not necessarily new, but newly defined and clearly defined goal, right? So that's basically what I'm here to teach you guys today, is why goal setting itself is the key to progress, right? Why having a goal is your key to making progress in your journey. Because if you don't have a goal, if you don't have a direction, then the self-improvement habits aren't really useful at all, because these are all tools. These are tools in order to nurture our growth into a certain direction, into a certain goal, into a certain achievement, right? A level of achievement, a level of being, right? And so we need to have this goal, we need to have this direction in order to know where we're going and know why we're even using all of these tools in the first place, right? And so I'm basically going to explain the power of goals, why they're so important, and then I'm also going to teach you guys in the end how you can actually start to set your own goals and make them clear enough that you can actually go and follow through on them. So before we get started, I would like you guys to go and click that first link in the description to join Self-Improvement Synthesized, my community where I help athletes and entrepreneurs stop wasting their potential and optimize their daily routines to make the most potential progress. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click that link down below. But aside from that, I'm about to get into the video. So the purpose of goals. Progress without goals. What is progress like without goals? When we don't have goals, when we don't have an intention, when we don't have a reason, a direction, right? We still make progress because naturally as human beings, we need to progress, right? We need to make progress in some field, in some area, right? We seek progress everywhere. This is the same reason you scroll on TikTok. This is the same reason you go to the gym. Both come from the same source, dopamine. But when we don't have a goal, when we don't have an intention or a direction, we make progress in random directions, right? We seek out pleasure. We seek out not natural, easy dopamine instead of the natural dopamine that we get from progress, right? So we seek out easy dopamine. We seek out pleasure, right? We seek out easy enjoyment in order to avoid the pain of stagnancy, right? Because stagnancy itself is painful for us. We cannot be in stagnancy. And so when we feel stagnant, for example, when you feel bored, you are inclined to reach for your phone. You are inclined to reach for, if you smoke, a joint or a cigarette, right? Depending on what you smoke. If you're a drinker, you reach for a drink, right? You reach for these things because you need to progress somehow, some way. And you have tricked your mind into thinking that this is some type of progress, right? Because what it's doing is it's progressing you in a negative direction, right? It doesn't take any work, but you are changing and altering your state of being, right? When you drink, you are altering your state of being, but without work, without effort. And so this feels as though you are achieving something. It feels as though you are doing something productive because you have changed and altered your state. But without the work involved, you haven't actually grown at all. And this change in state is only temporary. And so it leaves as quickly as it came on, right? And so we continue to seek out these things that feel like progress, even though they really aren't. We seek out progress in random directions, even though you don't actually know where you're going, and therefore you aren't even really making progress in any of these directions anyways, right? In most cases, you are actually making progress backwards. You are making negative progress because you do not have an intention, a goal, something that is beyond you, something that is higher than your current state, in order to pursue that higher state, in order to pursue a better version of yourself, right? And so progress without goals is, we still make progress, but it's aimless. It has no real intention, right? There's no real solid foundation for why we are doing it. And so it crumbles very easily as well. But progress with goals is continuous. It stacks upon itself, right? It continues to bring you closer and closer to this intention. You continue to become a better and better version of yourself the further along you go, because you have a clear direction, you have a clear purpose, you have a clear means of getting there, right? A clear process. And so therefore you're able to make much, much, much more progress because you know where you're going, because you're able to stack these wins on top of themselves to eventually reach this end goal, right? This end state. You continuously go higher and higher until you get to that point. And then once you reach this point, this goal, the best thing that you can do is set an even higher goal, right? If it's money, when I hit my 10K a month, I'm immediately going to set the goal for 50. Why? Because I'd like to keep progressing. I don't want to just stop at a certain point. I'm not doing this business to make money. I'm doing this business because I love it and because I want to continue to progress. I want to continue to help people. I want to teach people how to do self-improvement, how to change their lives, right? How to make progress, whatever it is. I just want to help people. I want to teach people. I want to talk about what I'm passionate about. I would like my business itself to progress. I'd like to create an education company that can compete with the public education system, right? And so this requires a lot of work, but also it means that there's no real goal that I can hit that completely satisfies me, because the only thing that will fully satisfy me is knowing that I'm progressing closer and closer to my end goal, which my end goal is something that you can't really put a number on. It's not something you can really conceptualize. I'll probably never get to the point where I say I've hit my goal. I'll probably die before I actually see the true fulfillment of my goal, right? My goal is to create an education company that completely overtakes the public education system. This could take 1,000 years, right? It's not likely that it'll take that long, and I bet you I will see very significant progress in that direction by the time I'm dead. But it sounds as morbid as it sounds. It's not. But at the same time, the point of it is not that set a goal you won't ever achieve, right? Because I do believe I will achieve this goal in my lifetime, but there's never a point where I'd stop progressing, right? There's never a point where this goal is just done, right? And so you need to have something, an intention, a goal to work towards, something to continue to progress towards. Otherwise, you'll become lost and aimless, as we talked about in the last section, right? You'll become lost. If you don't have purpose, if you don't have goals, you just progress in random directions, right? And so you need to be clear on where you're trying to go so that your progress can be specific to that actual goal and that actual intention. And so goals are so valuable because they give you a direction. They give you a purpose. They give you a reason to work, and they give you somewhere to go, right? They give you an actual intention for where your energy is going, right? And so what you want is to have a goal that is so clear, right, that you just cannot help but do something at least to work towards it, right? A goal that is so obvious, so clear, right? With such a clear process, right? And it's such a clear and almost visible intention that you have, right? Something that you can just almost completely see in your mind even before it's happened. Something that you can feel that you've already done even before you've done it, right? This clarity allows you to make progress in that direction very easily, right? And so now, how to set goals and then actually stick to them. Like I just said, setting clear goals, right? We need to set clear and obvious goals, right? Something that we can look at and we just know exactly what that means, right? I can't write be an athlete because that doesn't make sense. I don't know what that means. That could mean anything, right? I can write join a club soccer team and play as their starting striker, whatever, right? That's a very clear and intentional goal, And so that makes it easy to then go and actually pursue that, because now I know exactly what I'm doing. Okay, now I have to train as a striker to get really, really good. And I have to go and find teams. I have to go and look at other teams and go and try out for different teams and find one that matches. So you need to set something clear, something actionable and something clear. Then you create objectives, right? So you create your daily to-dos, right? Your daily task that will bring you closer to your goal, right? What is the highest leverage task that will bring you closest to your goal and the fastest? So for the last example, becoming a soccer player for a club team and being their lead striker, what is the action step that will bring me closest to that goal and the fastest, right? That's obviously the training itself, right? Going outside and working on my skills. That is the thing that will bring me to this goal the fastest, right? Because if I'm a good player, then when I go and try out for teams, it's undeniable that I'm a good player. And so it's easier for me to actually step into that position. For 10K a month with me, I'm trying to make 10K a month from coaching and from my school community. So what does this mean? This means I have to develop my school community and my product to be the best possible product that it can be. And that means adding as much content in there as I need to, as seems relevant, right? I can't add extra content that isn't even important or relevant or just confuses the viewer, right? But I do want to add all of the right content. I want to intentionally add all of the best content for the specific goal that I have for my customers inside of Self-Improvement Synthesized. My coaching program, I just have to make content and find a client, right? And once I have a client, then I just continue to do that. And so in both cases, making content is the key, right? Making content is the thing that will bring me closer to my goal. That is my highest leverage task, right? And so that's exactly what I have to go and do. That's all that I have to go and do, is make as much content as possible and put it out there, right? And then obviously like the smaller things in between, but the main thing I focus on, the thing I put the majority of my energy into, is making the content. So once you have your objectives, now it's time we understand dopamine and progress, right? So we receive dopamine when we anticipate the pleasurable activities or the instant gratification activities. But we also receive dopamine when we complete the difficult activities or the delayed gratification activities. So let's say it's a cigarette. We receive dopamine anticipating the cigarette up until the moment we light it, right? And then we're just smoking the cigarette. But for those who are in the gym, for those into fitness, you don't receive dopamine when you're going to the gym or doing the work. But you do get an increase in dopamine after the workout is done. After you have completed your workout, you get a hit of dopamine, right? And this dopamine lasts for a longer period of time. Whereas with the cigarette, the dopamine crashes right after you get the cigarette. Your dopamine will crash as soon as you get that hit. So how do we use this, right? You have to clearly define what are the objectives you have to do every day. What is the work that you have to accomplish? And then by doing that work, you can actually release dopamine. You can get dopamine, but after the work is done, right? You have to be disciplined enough to do the work, but then you get dopamine. Then you get motivation after doing the work in order to keep doing more work, right? And so this is very important and this is very valuable, because what we need is we need to clearly track our progress, right? We need to write down what it is we need to do every day, and then we need to complete those tasks. And by completing those tasks, we actually get our dopamine from the work itself. And in doing so, this allows us to continue and progress within that work and progress more there, so that we can then push our business or our goal or whatever it is, right? Push ourselves, push our business to the point when it reaches our goal, right? Because that dopamine, that motivation, that drive, that energy is what creates the goal, is what pushes you to actually achieving that goal. And so by continuously stacking these wins, we increase our baseline level of dopamine. And so therefore we find more and more pleasure in doing the things that will get us to our goal. This is a very powerful thing to have. The other thing is we can actually start to get dopamine from the work itself, right? Not after the work, but doing the work. If we track it, let's say a habit tracker where you tick the box every time you complete it. Or for me, I can even show you, I have my to-do list right here with me. I have to complete this list before I leave today, right? And so I have this list of habits, or not habits, this is my work tasks, but I have the list of tasks that I have to accomplish. And so as I go, I get to tick the little boxes, right? And that gives me a little bit of dopamine. And that dopamine keeps me motivated. That dopamine keeps me focused and keeps me working on the actual goal. So the last thing is using a timetable. So if you organize all of your daily habits that you have to do and all of your big important work tasks that you have to do into a hour by hour timetable that allows you to clearly and consistently move through all of the tasks that you have to do in order to complete your perfect productive day and also to reach your goal eventually, right? This makes it easy, this makes it obvious, and this makes it almost effortless to actually go and then do the thing, right? So that is all I have for you guys. So if anybody's still watching, please go down and click that first link in the description and check out Self-Improvement Synthesized. I'm very proud of that community, and I'm very proud of the work that we're doing within that community. And so you can go and click that link and go and check it out for yourself. Right now, we are running a 7-week program about routine mastery, basically how to optimize your daily routine in order to make the most potential progress, where I teach you exactly how to make an ideal timetable based on your goals and your daily habits. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click that link. But aside from that, I'm out of here. Peace.